Hey everyone! I'm Albert Boris. On November 2nd of 2022, we were finally given a reason to buy the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Because on this day, Nintendo added two brand new titles to the Nintendo 64 game catalog. On one hand, we got Mario Party 2, one of the most revered titles in the Mario Party series. But on another hand, we also got the original Mario Party 1. Now this game has been deserving of a re-release for a long time, because unlike Mario Party 2, this one never saw one on the Virtual Console. So a lot of us are excited to try it out for the first time ever. And to celebrate it, why not rank every single board from the original Mario Party? There are 8 of them, the most out of any Mario Party game, excluding Star Rush, and I'll be basing this list off of how fun they are, how unique they are, and how good they are atmospherically. With all that being said, let's get started. Coming in as the worst board of Mario Party 1 is not Wario's Battle Canyon. Yeah, I'm just as surprised as you are. My least favorite board in this game is actually none other than Yoshi's Tropical Island. Yawn. You probably didn't expect this one in last place. It's a fan favorite board of many, so much so that it was one of the 5 boards remade for Mario Party Superstars. And in that game, it was a really great board. The star switching gimmick was pretty simple, yet effective in making a fun board. Especially with items you could use to manipulate the situation. What? Items? Never heard of it. Yeah, for those of you who aren't familiar with Mario Party 1, it doesn't have any items, so naturally, the boards are much weaker than they need to be, simply because you can't really manipulate anything. And this board suffers the most because of this. You really just go with the flow and hope for the best. That could have been fine if the board design was interesting enough, but no, it's just 2 big islands connected by bridges crossed by paint swamps. I feel absolute apathy playing on this board, because you barely get to do anything at all. The islands just consist of spaces circling around them, and you only ever get one chance to choose which pathway to go, otherwise you're just rolling the dice. And there's rarely any reason to ever be on the left side of the board at all, since Boo is on the right side, and luck decides where the star will be anyways. This board is just dull. It's easily one of the most boring Mario Party boards I've ever played. The only good thing it does is making me appreciate its remake in Mario Party Superstars way more. Moving on. Now we get to Wario's Battle Canyon, barely beaten out for the achievement of worst Mario Party board. So this board, well, let's just say it's an absolute travesty in terms of layout. It's designed in such a stupid way, it honestly makes me wonder if this was meant to be a good board to begin with. So first off, it's an island hopping board. Yay! Not only that, it consists of 4 almost equally large islands. The left ones are inhabited by the red bob-ombs, and the right ones by the black bob-ombs. And would you look at that? They hate each other. In fact, they hate each other so much, they're forcing Mario and his friends to partake in it by tucking you into a cannon every time you circle one of their islands, sending you over to the next one, in this order. The problem with this gimmick is that it's completely random what space you'll end up on. Just look at this pattern, how is anyone supposed to make sense out of it? And if you press at the wrong moment, well, you can say bye-bye to the star unless someone lands on an event space and reverses the cannon order. And fun fact, you can also personally pay 10 coins to visit Bowser. Who is going to do that? So why is this absolute atrocity of a board doing above the rather harmless Yoshi's Tropical Island? Well, believe it or not, that's exactly why. Yoshi's Tropical Island is just boring. Wario's Battle Canyon is so dumb bad that it loops back to being fun. I'd much rather play a board where I'm laughing at how BS it is than a board so boring I could fall asleep at the lack of action. Besides, if it was tweaked a little, like maybe making the pattern more regular, it could have actually been a really fun board unironically. Next up, in 6th place, we have the final board, Eternal Star. Now this is a unique one, not just for this game, but for the entire series overall. Unlike many of the other boards in this game, it's an unlockable one, locked behind the fee of 100 stars, which you earn in the party mode. It's kind of insane, and trying to unlock this board was the main reason it took so long to get this video out. Interesting note, Bowser has for the most part always had either a lava or a space themed board. In all of the Mario Party games he has one. And it's always one of them. But in Mario Party 1 he gets one each, as Eternal Star is actually also a Bowser board. Because the goal here is to basically repair this giant star that Bowser and his Koopa kids have torn apart. And how do you do that? By meeting up with 7 Koopa kids scattered across the map and betting 20 coins for a star each. You'll then play a game of dice, where the winner gets the other star. Yes, you can theoretically lose a star on this. That on its own kind of ruins any point of playing on this board. What's the point of betting for a star when you can lose one as well? The risk of that is pretty slim, since you can only roll 8 to 10 because of judgmental Koopa Kids, but I already had a star stolen from me twice in a 20 turn game, so I don't know, I'd kind of rather keep my star. Unfortunately, that also kind of nullifies any reason to go anywhere. Another unique aspect of the board is the layout, because you can't just walk wherever you feel like. The board consists of multiple islands, traveled to by going to these teleportation pods, but you don't know where it'll take you, as the layout is randomized not only every game, but also every time someone visits Bowser or when all Koopa Kids have finally been robbed. It's a really unique way of playing, as you constantly need to be aware of where to go, but honestly it also just makes navigation a massive chore, as one mistake will cost you many turns worth of work. Even worse if someone lands on an event space and everyone's forced back to the start, like, come on! I appreciate how unique this board is, but it's pretty obvious why this type of board never returned in the series. King Boo's Haunted Hideaway in Mario Party 8 is the closest sequel we got, and that board handled the navigation aspect much better. Overall, Eternal Star is kinda meh. I want to like it because of how distinct it is, but it's kind of hard to play and have fun on it. In 5th place is Luigis Engine Room. Now, as I said in my Fixing Mario Party 1 boards video, if there were a few tweaks here and there, this might have actually been my favorite Mario Party 1 board. Alas, the version in Nintendo Switch's version of Mario Party is just the original. It's okay. The best way I can put it is that it's a board with a lot of potential that's limited by the game and time. The board is centered around these red and blue gates that open up and close every other turn, or if someone lands on an event space or bribes the Luigi bots. It works fine enough as a gimmick, but you don't think there's maybe a bit too much? Like, my goodness, do we really need 2 gates 4 spaces apart from each other? The way these gates have been placed makes some pathways way easier to reach than others. It's another board that suffers as a result of not being able to have items, since you're once again mostly just going with the flow and hoping for the best. Getting on this pathway alone just depends on how lucky you are with the dice. However, the board is not all luck based. You can take detours if the wrong gate is up for you this turn, and you can personally manipulate them as well by bribing whoever these guys are. One of the gates even allow you to pick one route over the other. But in the long run, nothing really matters, since they all end up at the pipe that takes you back to the start, which results in Boo getting passed far too often. Who thought putting him on a pathway everyone crosses would be a balanced idea? Why not put him here instead? Overall, Luigi's Engine Room is an okay board. Not great, not terrible. Peach's Birthday Cake is another board that, like Yoshi's Tropical Island, got brought back and remade from Mario Party Superstars as a result of it being a fan favorite in many people's eyes. But unlike Yoshi's Tropical Island, I think this one's equally good in both versions, despite ironically enough being the most changed board physically in Mario Party Superstars. Yeah, progress doesn't always overlap with quality. So this is a board you might be surprised to not see lower on the list, considering a lot of the things I complained about in Yoshis and Warios boards are repeated in here to an even larger degree. Well, once again, the answer is right in front of your eyes. You have no choices on where to go at all, and the one time you do have it, it's determined by luck. And you don't have any items to manipulate the board, so it's all go with the flow. But despite this possibly being the board with the least player agency in the entire series, the developers had a lot of tricks up their sleeve when designing this board. The flower seed lottery is luck based, sure, but there's a fun tension in seeing each seed getting picked off one by one and then wondering what the next one will be. There will always be 4 at the start with its own color, but no more will be added until everyone has been picked, which makes for an exciting situation every time someone picks a good seed. The fact that they also put the flower seed lottery right before the start is such a fun irony as well, as you can theoretically be stuck in the Bowser zone forever if you happen to pick the Bowser seed. So close, but yet so far. The only bad aspect of the lottery is the 10 coin fee. Just why? Don't the star and Bowser cake already cost enough? Otherwise, there are also these piranha plant spaces scattered throughout the map, and if you have 30 coins when landing on them, you can plant a piranha plant to steal a star from an opponent if they then happen to land on it. They pretty much replace Boo on this board, but it's a bit of a shame they can't steal coins as well in case you don't have the money for a big plant. Overall, as you can see, Peach's birthday cake is a board that takes advantage of how nonsensical it is, and as a result, it ends up being one of the most fun boards in the game. The top 3 of this ranking, however, managed to be fun while still being on the skill-based side. Now, this is a board I've made my opinion clear of on this channel. For me, this is easily Mario Party 1's most iconic board, and the perfect icon for everything that's good with this game. From the beautiful music, soothing setting, and simple yet effective board gimmicks. Basically, Mario's Rainbow Castle is one of the least problematic boards of this game. There are a lot of linear boards in Mario Party, but what sets this one apart from the other ones is the fact that you actually do get a few split paths here and there. Not only that, but it all comes down to your choice, not the game's. And these split roads play an important role on the board, as they can either make your journey to the end quicker or slower, which is integral to keep in mind depending on who's at the end of the board. It's either Toad or Bowser. Toad gives you a star, while Bowser rips you off for a fake star. They'll change position every time someone visits, or if someone lands on an event space, so you constantly need to be wary of who's ahead of you, and if it's smarter to take a detour. Or sometimes you might take a detour either way since Boo is on one of the longer pathways. But it still manages to blend luck and skill in such a fun way. The only reason it's not even higher on the list is because, well, it's still a bit on the simple side. For all it's worth it, it's not the board I'd come back to particularly often, as due to the simplicity, playthroughs always tend to feel the same. But when you are in the mood, it's easily one of the best boards. Bowser's Magma Mountain was the first Bowser board in the entire Mario Party series, and in my opinion, it's by far one of the best ones. Like Eternal Star, it's an unlockable board, which you get by buying it in the shop for 980 coins. Now when you think of a Bowser board, what comes to mind? To me personally, it would be the harsh setting and barbaric gameplay gimmicks, and this board probably best exemplifies that. Set on a Magma Mountain, it's a unique combination of a linear star hunting board, something not usually seen, as in, the star constantly switches places on a linear layout. It may seem like a bad combo, especially if the board is as big as it is, but it's saved by the core gimmick, the betting bridges. If you pay 10 coins every time you pass one of these bridges and you get a star, you'll take a shortcut. It works because it's all your choice. Do you want to play it safe or make a run for it? The only bridge without the fee is understandably the one at the top, which will either send you to Boo or Bowser. And it's one of the only instances in the game where Bowser can actually steal a star from you. Talk about barbaric. And if that wasn't enough, landing on an event space turns all blue spaces red. This board is brutal, but it's done in such a good way that it ultimately makes the board fun. The space transformation affects everyone, not just yourself, and the bridge shortcuts are your choice to bet on, not the game's. For that reason, Bowser's Magma Mountain is one of the top boards of this game. Can you believe it? No? Well, neither can I honestly. The best board in the first Mario Party game is none other than the first one. I did not expect to love this board as much as I did, but here we are. The layout of the board is just what you'd expect from any quality starting board. It's simple and rectangular, but easy to navigate around with every pathway offering something of value. There are some aspects I wish were changed about the board. I think 2 womps right after each other is a little excessive, and putting Boo in a place where everyone will pass by no matter what is once again really stupid. But they're not big enough problems that it personally makes the board much worse. In general, I think DKs Jungle Adventure is a perfect example of how to make a good Mario Party board. It's big enough that you don't find yourself circling the same areas over and over again, but not so big you get lost. And there are a lot of split pathways to pick from, each with something of value, so you don't get bored easily either. Most boards in this game haven't really aged well, but if I didn't know the difference between N64 Mario Parties and you told me this was actually for Mario Party 2 or 3, I would have believed you. In fact, the stone doors that only let you pass if you have 20 coins are very reminiscent of the skeleton key doors used in subsequent games. Overall, DK's Jungle Adventure has nearly everything needed to make a good board, and that's why it's the best one in Mario Party. But what is your favorite board in Mario Party 1? If you like this video, then make sure to like, share and subscribe to my channel as I talk about nearly everything Mario related. Maybe you'd even like to see a ranking of Mario Party 2's boards, but with all that being said, I'm signing off now.